Oh. Stop feeding them. They're gone to sleep. You want something else to eat, girl? I don't know. I got them doing this green, baby. Here you go. Here, I give you a treat. I'll get you more treats too here in a little bit. Oh, okay, let's see here. Okay. Okay. This might be a no go or whatever. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know. Trying to think. Oh. I was thinking about doing this and seeing if I can move this over here the certain way. But I don't like how I don't know. Kind of trying to figure out. This is not cool. I don't like it. I don't like how. Okay. What do we got here? Let's try to just look at it. This is some Dr. Ben's comics here. I don't think I'm going to have a good experience this morning. It don't feel like it. But with that attitude, then why would I expect it? I don't know. Trying to start the stream off with something about comic books because I am streaming over to the second channel also. And, you know, wish I had something to put these stickers on, really. If I ever get a laptop again, which hopefully that is going to happen sooner than later, trying to make efforts towards getting some kind of, because last month I did really well on This is some stickers from the Godfo universe. Like they'd made some little, more cartoonish looking renditions of the characters that were in the Godfo that are in the books, and I have those. I'm gonna, which that's what I played earlier a minute ago was that right there. That right there is from that's Kolga, or if I'm pronouncing it right, from the same people that do the Godfo universe, which is set in our future, way in the kind of good ways into the future, and pretty much kind of a technological dystopian future. That book right there is the first book, and I think when I made a video back when I got this, I think I pronounced it wrong because I've seen them talking on a stream a while back, and I think they pronounce it Apollyon, and I was saying Apollon. Like I was thinking it, I would pronounce it the way I thought it would. Now I don't know for sure, but I think that book is Apollyon, not Apollon. And I made a video, reading I did like a little short, and I read the back description to the video that I made of the comic book, and I realized that I think I'm going to show y'all a little something else too. Local video. Yeah, I forgot that I can just pull up. I did a little video while I was walking. I didn't use the gimbal this morning. I got up late, or I didn't get up till almost 9 o'clock. I was awake several times, but my stomach was a little sore this morning. And I finally got up, and I chose not to go to church today. No, I'm not using the gimbal or anything. And so along this walk, I just pulled the phone out and did a little video.
Bit while I'm waiting on people to show up. I stream.
Like I'm not going to upload this to the channel. This video, it's just not going to be a short or anything, unless I take the talking out and put music over it.
So the camera's going to be a little shaky, just because I'm not using the gimbal right now. I didn't think I was going to take any kind of pictures or anything, or video.
And I just kind of did that as a video specifically for this morning because I knew I was going to go live. Like I was like, I'm going to do a live this morning, and like, let's see here. Let's look at relaunch real quick. Now, Dr. Ben is going to be doing I do know you can sign up on Indiegogo, I believe, for whenever he gets ready to launch his actual campaign to be able to go and back his next. From what I understand, I think he's doing this, but this is kind of more of a preview. Now you can see some of the printing. Well, this is not a good. The camera ain't. I'm not getting a good. Of course, this is just a little kind of black, But from what I understand, I think he's talking about that the book that he's going to be back, like that you'll be back in, is going to be there's going to be more to it than what I got right here. So he's got a relaunch campaign that will be coming open for anybody that wants to support it. That's Dr. Ben's Comics. Being that I don't have a laptop or a computer or desktop, and I'm not working from that, and it's just my phone, to try to get links to post into my chat sometimes is not the easiest. Like I could go, but I might end up getting dropped. Like I could back out for a minute and the stream might slag, or the picture might drop for a second. If I go in to go over and try to copy a link to Dr. Ben's Comics channel, but that is what his channel is. I believe it's called Dr. Ben's Comics. And then also Godfo has a channel, and I'm trying to remember, is it just called Godfo Universe or is it what? That's where I'm lack on if I'm trying to share something with you guys of that I from people that I've actually purchased from and gotten some of their work. So hopefully, like I said, here in the next few months, I'll have some kind of ability to be on a computer again, preferably a laptop. Which once I get that, I'll have to try to get actual internet. I just use data, and so I just kind of wanted to. So this is streaming over to the second channel also. You know, I didn't expect anybody to really, and most people are probably not going to be even looking at for that. Now, if they got a notification, they might come in and watch from. But I figured might as well do it. And I'll just, because I'm streaming to the second channel, I figured I want to make the extent, at least the first part of this stream, just kind of talking about comic books a little bit, or maybe not talking about them so much, just showing them off and sharing, you know, some of the stuff people might have seen or not seen from me. I forgot I had this. I'd ordered this last year, I think. It's the Judge Dredd. If anybody been watching, they know that just recently I got a bunch of actual floppies. Not a bunch, but I think there was 9 different issues, and I still have, let me see, I'm still, out of the 9, I still have 3 issues to read out of the books that are floppies from Judge Dredd. And they weren't in no sequential order, so it wasn't like a couple of the books have like, it was an arc that went through 5 issues, and I have a couple of those issues or something. Well, it was like an anthology comic, and one of the stories in there was in 5 parts, and I have 2 of the parts. So, but they were just anyway. And if you hear the puppies, it's because they're well, they're just puppies. I got up and I just put them back in the room not even about 15 or 20 minutes ago. I had them outside for the last hour or so. I moved them, cleaned up the area that I put them in. I've moved them to the spare bedroom. And then Biddy, the mama dog, she went in there and fed them. And you know how that happened, what happens when she was done feeding them, she came out of the room. I went in there. I've got them blocked off where they can only go so, like they got a good space, but I can slide this thing over and it'll keep them from coming out into any more of the room or into the living room, because I don't have a door on that spare bedroom. I have a door for it, but I need to get the drill working and have somebody help me hold it up and then put it back on, or get a new door completely. I don't know. It just came off a while back from some dumbass opening it the wrong way, and he tried to force it, and he ripped the damn thing off the damn hinges. But I remember, I forgot about this till I'm looking through some of my comics just now. This was, I guess, this is volume 2 that was put out by IDW. Really good quality, but I believe these were reprints. I don't know if that's the case or not. When IDW was doing it, didn't they? No, these might have been new runs, new stories. But I think they did do some stuff where they were, since they had the license, they were doing new stories as well as maybe some of the prints of the things that came out in the 80s and stuff. But I really don't know. But I do like IDW all right. Sometimes they do have some pretty cool license deals. I just like the quality. I think IDW is trying to go into making some of their own IPs, if I remember reading correctly here recently. And if you're watching and you're not into comics, you know, I will shift the conversation in a little bit, kind of towards probably just life in general. I don't play the Warhammer game, but I do like Warhammer. I like the animation in the video games. I like the artwork. in the actual Warhammer books and stuff that you buy to learn how to the lore and all that. But I'd ordered this a few years ago, as just because I wanted to see how well it might be. And I've intended on ordering some more Warhammer comic books, just because I like the look of it. I like the art. I like this is called Lone Wolves. I even got some Warhammer action figures. My Joy Toy action figures are, Joy Toy is a pretty damn good action figure line. They do a lot of 1/18 scale, the smaller figures. From what I understand, they are doing bigger ones now, I think, but I'm not sure. I haven't ordered any toys or bought any toys since last year. I stopped pretty much. Not that I don't like toys anymore. I just kind of got out of it. I sent a big box of stuff to Tennessee to a friend. Matter of fact, I've got another box I made up and just have never got out in the mail. A lot of stuff happened between last summer and this summer. There's another person that hopefully they still consider me a friend, but I haven't talked to them since last year, who I actually have promised this Ed 209 from RoboCop. And my friend the other day mentioned that he really liked that in the background there. But I had told dude last year he was going to be doing me a custom action figure, and he actually did, based on Alien Legion, one of my favorite comic books. Alien Legion is one of my favorite comic books, and dude was making one of the characters custom-wise because there aren't no figures for Alien Legion. And he didn't have to do that. It wasn't like we didn't make a deal on that. I was just trying to get rid of some of my collection, and my idea was to send it to some people that have put it to use that are good at customizing, and they have toy channels on YouTube. And all these guys I really kind of got to know from Instagram, and then my Facebook and my Instagram got hacked last year, and then whoever hacked it had scammed a couple of people and stuff. But I never was able to get back in. And then I didn't even really go through the process. Like, I was linked to someone that could have helped me recover my account. It might have cost me a few bucks, but I just didn't care. I was like, I personally don't like Facebook. I do like Instagram, all right. But it's still owned by the same people. So not being able to have the connection to the Instagram people that I was really tight with, that was the most disappointing. The Facebook didn't gain much. It didn't have a lot of traction. It didn't bring a lot of people to the channel either. But that's the reason I had a Facebook. And since it got hacked and all that shit, I don't care to go over there and try to even create a new account or anything. I just don't. If you're wanting to find me on X, you can find me. I mean, if you're wanting to find social media, then I am on X. Gray Cloudy Day 1, I believe, is the handle on X. I'm also on Gab also. Now, on a different note, though, yesterday I did get in Mastering the Toltec Way, which is based on Toltec wisdom. This is by an author I've never read. Most of the Toltec books, all the Toltec books, other than the Carlos Castaneda books, which is originally where I found out about the Toltecs. But when you're reading the Carlos Castaneda books, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of detail. And it's like him writing about his experiences going down into Mexico in the 60s and, studying under a Toltec sorcerer, like learning the wisdom and perception of reality. A lot of people debate on whether any of it really happened. Did he just make all that up? I don't question all that. I like reading the Carlos Castaneda books, but it was years later when I found the 4 agreements, and I was like, and I saw that it said based on Toltec wisdom. I was like, Toltecs, Carlos Castaneda, Don Juan from Carlos, boom. I picked up the 4 agreements. It's not a big, thick book. I was instantly hooked. I was like, man, this thing simplifies like everything that it teaches in the 4 and 5th agreement and all the other collected books. Really kind of, if you haven't read the Carlos Castaneda books, then you wouldn't know. But I read a lot of the Carlos Castaneda books, so I see where they just kind of they made some of the stuff simple, and it's not like them telling stories about. It's not going into a lot of details. They're just getting simple to the point about what all that means. Anyway, I'm trying to keep going here and trying. I'm thinking about. Oh, I got this one too, and this is by Don Miguel Ruiz, who wrote the Four Agreements, Fifth Agreement, a bunch of other stuff. Beyond Fear: A Toltec Guide to Freedom and Joy. And I've had this before, I believe. I think I had it many years ago, like before I really took on the Monarch. Before it was real to me that I'm not Jason, but I'm Grey Cloud. So, anyway, I'm trying to keep it on topic. I did label this as comic books and I think life or something like that. What did I say? Yeah. So comic books and life stuff. And, I didn't share a link directly to anybody. I shared a link for Grey Cloud's Thoughts and for Grey Cloud Today onto X. Then in the comments, I posted a link to the Restream Studio. I am a member of a DM group there, but I didn't share it there and try to ask anybody if they'd want to come on from in the DM group. Because those guys are all part of the comic book community and stuff like that. So I just didn't, because I don't think, and I think it's me being self-conscious. A lot of people aren't probably up and moving around yet. Now, of course, Ruby from Ruby Kings or Ruby King, whatever, he does streaming and he talks about comic stuff. This morning, he did a stream at 7:00 and I was in the chat for a while. So I should have probably shared the link and somebody from there might have popped in. But I don't like trying to be too pushy about it. I just figured post it into my timeline and then share a link in the comments that's it, and put in the description up at the top above the link. Hey, I'm going to leave a link in the comments if you want to join. There's where you can find it. And for anybody, like, so this is the gimbal that I have that someone had sent to me this past week or last week. And I've been experimenting with it, trying to use it and stuff. Okay, it's flopping around because I don't have it on. When you turn it on, it all gets stabilized. And if you have the phone in here, it goes in like this. Once it comes on, it'll move, rotate, and then balance. And I'm just still trying to learn like how to use it when I'm walking around and stuff. I know how to use it, but sometimes I'm not understanding why the phone will be tilting a certain way or going a certain way when I thought it was supposed to be making that more minimum. And I think it's just possibly the way that I'm holding it when I'm like doing stuff and trying to walk down the road. And I've only done it like a handful of times this week, and usually in the mornings before it gets real hot I'll go for a short, small walk with the gimbal, trying to test it out, and I get a few little shots, and then I'll come back. I usually put the gimbal down and then go on a longer walk with my headphones, just so that I could just do what I usually do, and because I like to put my headphones on and listen to music and go down the road, and sometimes I walk further than other days, but so I took a walk this morning without the gimbal. And yesterday the gimbal had died on me, or it got to a pretty much dead battery. Like it needed charging when I was about ready. I made the video I made yesterday morning using it as the stand. And it does seem to make, and I changed something this week, or like recently I changed in the way that I'm filming my videos. They're all in like HD now. So, and I think when I use the gimbal, using it through the app to make the videos, like where it's stationary and I'm not walking around, I believe that the picture is a little bit better also. Because the app enhances things for something. Like it does a little bit more enhancing or something. And so, trying to think of what else I can cover here or say. We're just now approaching almost 30 minutes. I did text somebody this morning, and they might already be gone. They could already be gone. But it is Sunday. I wasn't sure. I think this week they're going to be traveling to another state to look for potential places to buy or whatever, or move to in. They're going to be moving from the state they live in to another state, and they have to go down there and look around the area now. So I didn't know if they've already took off and gone. They might be leaving out today to go, or they might have already. But I just know that this coming week, I think that's where they're going to be. But I just shot them a text this morning and was like, "Hey, I'm probably going to be streaming in a little bit." And I didn't ask it. I didn't say, "Hey, do you want to come on?" But like, if they're interested, I figured they'd let me know. Like if they're like if they want to come on, I figured they'll text me or something, and I can send them a private link. Whatever. And so, give me just a second here. I forgot that oh goodness Christ. Not that I need it. Really, I think my plan was to just take today as a more relaxing day. Like this morning when I realized I probably wasn't going to go to service. Hey, what's up, Johnny? Johnny Scab, man, what's up? Good to see you. Good to see you. And I've been kind of just talking about. Thanks for saying something in the chat, because I see that I was seeing a couple people are watching, but I'm not trying to pay too much attention to that. And but nobody had said anything yet, so I was starting to wonder, could there be something wrong with the chat? Because that happens from time to time. Sorry. Hopefully the sound is okay. Self-destruct always says that for me to be streaming on my phone, he thinks my mic on my phone works pretty well, that it seems to come through pretty good to be just being on a phone. But I was showing off some Dr. Ben stuff, like the stickers and stuff. Then I showed some stickers of, this is from the Godfo universe, but their characters don't look like that they look like that, but not drawn like that in the actual comic books. Which I don't know if you were here yet or a minute ago, but like I did a small little video again. This morning I recorded this just to play here like this. And so that's like, I'm just kind of flipping through the different Godfo books. That's Kolga. And I know that they will be coming out with Kolga 2 soon. I don't remember exactly when, but that's coming up soon. So I'm wanting to order another copy of the first Kolga book. And I want to do a giveaway when they are about to do, when they start to put out the second book, whether it's launching it or they've already got it going and it's about to come out. When they start trying to really promote that it's about to be for sale or pre-order or like to back, I would like to get a second copy of the first Kolga book and do like a little giveaway to help promote the second book. The same thing with when they get ready to win the third actual I was thinking, I said this earlier, I think I was pronouncing this wrong at some point and just saying Apollon, And the way I heard them pronounce it in a stream was Apollyon, which would make sense because there's like Apollyon, like, or anyway, Apollyon. And I don't know if I'm saying it right or wrong, or if they were saying it like they're pretty. Dude that writes it is probably more educated than me and knows the right pronunciation, especially if you wrote the book. This is from their first book. So what I would like to do, my intention is I need to connect with them privately and see. I need to go and look about when is Colga 2 really about to launch or be presented. I know they've sort of talked about it and they're telling people about that it's coming. I need to get with them and figure out. I hope you're doing all right, Johnny. Like I haven't been able to catch every video yet that the more newer ones that are you doing with your friend again. But what I've caught, I've commented and I really dig that stuff. I think it, of course, I guess if I'd been following you longer, because, you know, I met you more in the comic world scene, but you've been doing this stuff for a long time. Because I know that this past year at some point I went, because you have another channel too or something. But that was like more music. But I do remember going far back and watching some of the, I don't know which channel, like, but I remember watching some of those older videos a while back, like months ago. But I watched some of the videos that you, and I guess that's the same friend, when y'all were doing it, like whenever you did it originally. So I thought it was pretty cool. And I remember you mentioning a few months ago that you were going to try to get back to that, like you've been working. Hey, Bleed Blue. Hey, it's good to see you, man. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in the, of course, you know that my streams are always kind of randomly. Sometimes the streams are just kind of randomly decided. And I am streaming to my second channel also today just to see how it works. I mean, I've streamed to X and YouTube at the same time before. That is the cool thing about Restream is even on the free platform, I can stream to two different things on the free version. So you might want to think about that. Like, even though some people seem to think Restream ain't that great, I think it depends on what operating system you have. I'm just on a fucking phone, so, you know. But Bleed Blue, that's cool that I'm seeing you. Like, I don't remember when it was, but sometime in the past week, I think I streamed. Now, I might not have been on a stream. I might have been talking to someone that's a subscriber, but also a friend. Either way, I've mentioned you a couple of times. I remember thinking, I don't know if it was in a stream or what. Okay. Well, I know that when you're usually, if you show up and I am streaming and you catch it, you at least say hi, usually. Now, that ain't always could be the case because I know sometimes you're at work also. Like another friend of mine, sometimes there's several people that sometimes they're working like an actual job, but they're able to listen to something because the job, like they have an earbud in and they might have like, they can hear the conversation and the talk. But then I remember somebody telling me that I think they were at one point, they were trying to watch it also, and they kind of couldn't be doing that no more at work. But occasionally, like if he catches me on his lunch break or something, he'll come in and watch. But other than that, they just listen. I was sharing a little bit about comic books. I was saying this, I think I pronounced this wrong when I made a video about this a while back when I got it. These are some guys that I follow on X. A lot of people that I also follow. So I've got, that's the second book. That's volume 2. But I have volume 1. I have volume 2 of this. And then I have the first book that's set in the same universe called Colga. And it's in color. I really like it. But I was saying I'm going to try to do I want to coordinate. But this book is only $15, but it's a nice book. And it's color even. It's like a half size. And I know Bleed Blue, you're in, like, maybe you're not into comics per se, but you can appreciate art anyway. and I really don't know. I know you're in. I know the kind of music. I know that you've stated, you know, like we know that. I know that we have a common interest in some of the music we listen to because you do like. I think you like a lot of stuff, but I know that we kind of connected with being fans of Ryan Upchurch and some other stuff, like some other different country rap type artists and stuff. I'm real picky about when it comes to, like, I like some hip hop and certain rap, but it just depends on the vibe and a lot of different things. But I don't. And then I go through phases where I keep, like, it's interesting because in the independent comic world, how there's a lot of drama back and forth in the comic skate scene and all that. Johnny knows what I'm talking about there. If you've ever watched any of the channels that cover the country rap scene, it's a very similar thing. Although it's based in a music scene, there's a lot of bickering and bantering back and forth, especially of people that at one time thought that they were cool with each other. And then you got all these, like, well, Johnny can relate to that. I'm relating to, in Comicsgate, with the Comicsgate community, there's a ton of people since I've followed Comicsgate that were all cool with the main components of Comicsgate till they got butt hurt because their books or the projects they were on didn't do so well. And I can relate that when the country rap scene that I sometimes keep up with. And I find it entertaining because it's like when you watch some of the live streams over there and they're talking about some of the drama going on, sometimes even though it's two different complete things, a lot of it is similar type stuff. People being bitches and, like, snakes, like they don't get their way and then they turn on the people that really fucking helped them out and brought them up in that fucking scene. Whether you be into, I think that's probably the way it is everywhere. So it wouldn't really, like, if I was really into, like, another genre of, like, I like a lot of different genre of music where I tend to, my palette for music is usually leans towards the heavier side, but that being said, like here recently, I've been listening to a lot of Truth Seeker and stuff like that, which is, I've came back around to that, which is some spiritual type hip hop and stuff. And guys, I appreciate you for just listening or whatever. I'm trying to think of, I don't want to be, I'm trying not to be boring. And I always think that I am sometimes. It's nice though. Like, I'm doing Restream and, like I said, I didn't share a link directly to anyone if they wanted to come on. I did share this on X and then posted in the comments a Restream link if somebody wanted to come on for a minute. But that's the only reason I did that. Like, I didn't post it in the DM group just because I was like, I'm not going to push it. There's only a handful of people in that group anymore. Anyway, it's not like they're, I don't know what I know what this is. It's for the, if I'm correct, it's probably, see, if it's 12 o'clock today, right now where I'm at, Johnny, it's early morning where you're at, it, if you're still there. I believe you're there. I'm thinking it's morning time because you're over in England. I know that. I know if I'm streaming early in the morning on my time, like if I'd started earlier, no, it's like the middle of the night probably still for you, isn't it? Or it's going into the next, like, okay, never mind. Not that any of that matters. Okay, guys, I am trying to think. Anyway, I've been doing a lot of deep diving myself lately. If anybody knows, Gray Cloud. I don't know why all of a sudden I got a little bit of, all of a sudden, man, there's something just like hit me. But I've been very introspective over the past several weeks. And I've also been sober again for a little over just a little over 3 weeks now. Which, when I drank the last time, it was only for 3 or 4 days, but it was a fucking nightmare. And I'd had like a month at that point. I'd went a whole month. And anybody that's watching me any length of time, I am not trying to tell anybody that because I'm trying to do a certain thing my way, that anybody else has to be that way. Like I'm not about trying to, like I figure to each their own. And if you have a problem and you're wanting to fix it, you get it, you figure it out, and you do it. If you don't, you keep living however you want to live, as long as you ain't like hurting nobody or interfering with people and you're doing whatever you need to do. It's just that with me and alcohol, usually it's a disaster. And that's a vape that's THC stuff. Alabama has recently since Johnny's there, right quick, give me a second. I'll be right back. I just kind of want to plug my friend's channel. I wish I could pull up a link and put it in his. Okay, I didn't get the shirt I wanted to show off, but anybody that don't know, Johnny's I consider Johnny kind of a friend. Yeah, we only know each other on the internet, but I think we have a lot in common, and I think he's got integrity, and I try to have integrity. I mean, we all can lack sometimes in places, but that is a shirt. That's the first shirt I got. And I'm just saying, I'm just kind of giving Johnny a little plug here. So he has a channel, and sometimes it's about comic books, but he's also kind of like me. He kind of I got to know him through the comic book stuff, but he covers, like, if you go there, his content, and even in his live streams, it's not always about any one thing. It can start off about one thing. Like, he does do better with, he'll usually have ideas and things laid out. Where I'm just kind of like, I just go and I just start and I'm just streaming. But it does help when, but I did get another Johnny Scab shirt recently. I was trying to find that, but I just washed clothes yesterday and I haven't put them all up and hung them up. I was actually going through my hamper where they're like all still in there from when I got back from the laundromat. I was able to find that one, and I just wanted to kind of give a little. And I was saying this earlier, whenever I finally get, when I finally get a computer again and everything's set up and know how to use it, then I will have to learn how. I know how to do it, but I'll have to. Hold on a minute. Okay, I was reading a message from my sister, and she, like, I'd asked her if she was off work today. We hadn't talked in a few weeks, and I texted her, I believe, the week before last on a Sunday or something, and she's like, "Oh, we're heading back from." They had been on a vacation trip for a week, and they were heading back home that day. So I knew that last weekend she was probably working because she was off for a week, and then that weekend, and then she came back, and she'll be off one weekend, and the next weekend she'll work. But she is off, and she said she's doing a bunch of cleaning right now. What's up, Merlin? Yeah, isn't that not right? I'm trying to figure out, did you just come in? I guess you just popped up a minute ago. Well, anyway, I'm trying not to focus on how many people's watching or not. A minute ago, we've had 2 people on here, and I know that Bleed Blue did chime in. He might, and Johnny Scab, my friend, said hi also, you know. And then at some point there was a third set of eyes on me, but they've disappeared, so I don't know. Yeah, you're right, man, Merlin. How would I get into? Yeah, a few seconds ago, there was like a third. Like I was just, I was thinking, like at some point it went up for a minute, and then, but sometimes that don't always. Like I'm still new to trying to stream. Like even though I've been streaming some off and on since last year, I'm just using my phone. I don't have the capabilities. If I was saying, if you know. Once I get a computer again and all that, which I haven't really had, I was blessed with a computer last year, and then I fumbled the ball. I don't want to get into all that. Dang, Merlin. You know, it's cool to see you because I don't know if you're like me. Like I've subscribed, I'm following a lot of people. So sometimes I'm not consciously thinking about particular things until for some reason something pops up in my feed again, and like it's just been in the past few weeks or something. Some of yours popped up, and I was like, oh yeah, I think it was you. Give me a second, my dog's hungry. She putting her head in the dog food. Let me give her a. Let me see here. I thought you had some in the bowl. Okay, hold on, girl. Hold on, my baby. We're gonna get you good. Here you go. Here. Come on. There you go, baby. Okay, I remember what it was, Marlon. I believe it is. Actually, I believe you commented on something I posted in my community, and I saw your name, I saw your comment, and that made me think, hey, I haven't seen dude in a while. Like I haven't watched, so I've been trying to keep up ever since that day. And then I went and watched a couple of your shorts and videos and stuff, and now you're popping up in my algorithm or my feed again. Yeah, you know how it is. There's sometimes, like I was talking to somebody yesterday, like I follow a lot of channels that are smaller, and because I like people that have followed me and we have similar interests, but you get to where like you follow, like when you're trying to do content, plus you have your own personal life and you're trying to do things throughout the day, like, because I'm trying my best not to live my life online too much anymore. Like I was doing that a lot where I'd be posting all different times of the day on X and keep checking in on there. I mean, I'm doing a lot with the channel and stuff, but I'm not trying to, during my day, if I'm not live streaming or making content, I'm trying to either be reading, studying, whether that's recreational reading or studying reading for my own spiritual and, intellectual stuff. But then there's also my fun reading that I do. Like I'm trying to get caught up on all these comics I've got sitting here and shit that I've ordered. But, I order a lot of old comics and stuff for cheap, find good deals on eBay. But yeah, Merlin, I have always, I love your takes on things. And we talked a little bit in the comments before or something like, because I've shared with you, I'm 51 Earth years old, and there are some things I've witnessed in my life that I know they're real because I experienced it. But as far as sometimes I don't necessarily open, like I don't care. I've told stories before of things, like when I was in the woods and first learning that I was Gray Cloud and not Jason, the government name. Yeah, I believe that comics do have a way of, especially the comic I was showing a minute ago. Like the universe that these guys are creating, the Godfoe universe, it's set in a dystopian type future, but it's also like a technological place. You have like Well, I'll read you the synopsis since you're here. Uh, Welcome to the Godfo universe. A powerful group of elites known as the Order have manipulated world events for centuries from the shadows. Now, in the near future, this order has created capital G period capital O period capital D period God. So they've created God, a machine capable of influencing the minds of the world's population. But Zero, with an X, the prime candidate for the God project, has escaped and rallied with him a small band of young, like-minded Augamites. That's people that have been given different abilities and stuff. They've come up with this technology anyway. So it's kind of like some people, they got different powers and stuff. They've been experimented on. Together, they seek to end the order before the God and can be completed and the world brought to its knees. So the project God has not been finished yet. And I find it very interesting because when I first seen the name Godfo, I was kind of like, what? But what it's there in the storyline, the world is under this controlling play thing, much like what we're seeing move towards nowadays. And already are, but we're getting even closer and closer to more like really just bizarre stuff. The whole 2030 thing and everything. So once you start actually reading the story itself and you realize so anybody that is going against their agenda or their idea of completing this project with this AI that's going to be called God that will manipulate and control most everybody, anybody that's going against that is considered a God foe. So that's that. I was really, and the writing is really well done and stuff. And like I said, I am planning to try to do a giveaway at some point because this is a book that's in the same universe, but it's written in a different time of the history span. And I think it's a little earlier in or a little later. I can't remember. But they got Kolga 2 about to come out and launch here shortly, sometime. I don't know exactly. I've got to find out. But I was thinking about getting another copy of that particular book right before they're about to be officially launching the second book of Kolga, so that I can help try to, maybe either have them on a stream or whatever, and we can talk about it, but I can do a little giveaway, giving away the first story of that particular book volume. Same with when they get ready to release the Apollyon Volume 3, because I've got 1 and 2, yeah. And then 3 will be coming out sometime within a certain length of time. They've done been talking about that. I wouldn't mind getting a Volume 1 of that particular storyline that's in the universe to also do. So. Yeah, like dude is he's done a lot of research because they I'm trying to remember his name. His name is I talk to him a lot, but I just know him I just call him Godfo, like. Hold on. I've got the book right there, don't I? It's got their names in it. The writer so you have the writer Dan Evans and the artist Josh Adams, but they both are really they've done a lot of really deep research, and they're influenced by a lot of a lot of really interesting books, like spiritual books, psychiatric books, just the books that, recently they created a Discord, and I don't keep up with it every day or nothing. I don't do the Discord all the time, but I finally got an account to be part of some of the people's. I think eventually I might make one here. For people to, but I'm having enough time trying to. Yeah, I've read The Watchmen, couple of times. It's like a weird. I always liked it, but I've seen a lot of people. There's a lot of people that there's kind of like a split. Some people really dig it and some people don't. But I thought it was a pretty cool concept. Like the book itself. The movie's a whole, like the movie, there's a lot of it but I'm not a big Zack Snyder fan. So, but when you're saying read, I know what you're talking about, the actual, and because I'm a comic fan, yeah, I have watched, I've watched the movie, but I'm talking about I have read Watchmen. I think sometimes some of the issues is more with the person, the actual writer. Some people just don't want to promote his work there because of his politics and shit. But he did change a lot of different perspectives in comics with the type of writing he does and stuff. And what is it, Alan Moore or something? Hold on a minute. Oh yeah, I was saying in Alabama. I was getting bud that was just through that loophole in the hemp law, but they changed it in Alabama, so you can't get it legitimately at a store or nothing now. Even though some people would tell you that it's not real stuff, but the THCA loophole, a lot of states are cracking down on that. So, and I didn't mean to just completely go into another, but I had mentioned it a minute ago and never did finish what I was saying when I talked about that vape. Let's see. Yeah, it was more. Yeah. I'm trying to think how I can damn. Let me think. Am I able to? Never mind. I'm trying to think. Marlon, if you ever want to do a stream with me, let me know or something. I'm trying to think how we could do it without. I've done it once before where I put the link in the chat. I'm just weird about that because, like, I know that last week somebody came in and the first comment they made was like, fuck Islam, which I kind of can say, yeah, I guess I can feel that sentiment. But because of that particular statement, and maybe I shouldn't have said that algorithm might think I'm being, but I'm usually not worried about that. It's just I don't do a lot of, I don't really talk about that kind of stuff much on my channel. I might be spiritual and I might even talk about comic books on my main channel, and my second channel is mainly, to be about comic books. And I'm just trying to, and today I just decided to do streaming to both channels. I don't know which particular, I don't know how I know who's watching from where, but it really don't matter. I intend to do a stream soon on the second channel that's exclusively a second channel stream. And hopefully I have a guest or two and we're going to talk. I want to make it a stream where I kind of know we're going to talk about comics. I'll have some of my comics sitting and around and maybe some ideas or things. But it's also a couple of people that know a little bit about comics and are in the indie Comicsgate scene and stuff that I follow, where we might even talk about some of the drama and stuff. But because the second channel finally is like a little over 100, like 105 subscribers, I'm trying to, in my head, figure out when, and then I got to talk to a couple people and see, so that I can set it up at least, I want to set it up 24 to 48 hours in advance. Give people notice, because I'm really not streamed really on the second channel, and it's a lot smaller. And when I do that, I want to make it like where we're celebrating getting over 100 subscribers, and I'm just kind of kicking off. Like, this is a stream, and it's going to be on the Great Clouds Talks channel. It is right now. But I'm wanting to do an official stream where I set it up. I know who might be interested in coming on with me. And it's not just like spur of the moment, like, oh, well, I'm going to stream this morning. Like, I already know what I'm going to do. And what'd you say? Yeah, me either. I just got to babbling and I kind of stopped. I kind of lost what. Okay, yeah, I was trying to figure it out. Well, because you're there, like if you wanted to come on right now, I'll just share the link. But if you're cool, like however you wanted to do it, if you wanted to come on and just talk for a little while, like I would be down with it. Or if you just rather try to figure out the way I usually do it is like I can give it, but like right now, it's kind of in the moment. You know what? Why don't we just do it that way? Like screw it. The only reason I was kind of hesitant is because, and just because I share the link, I do still have the ability to check who's in there before you turn the camera on. I just don't want someone I don't know to be doing it. Like last week, that person that said that in the chat, they said that first they said something, then they said F, and they didn't say, they just spelled it different so the algorithm wouldn't, like it didn't, like YouTube didn't censor the comment. They spelled the F word different. And I was like, I can see that. Like, I can kind of agree, but yet I have had friends that were of all faith. It wasn't because of that statement. It was because 2 comments later, they were like, let me on the panel. And I had no clue. I didn't know. I kind of thought it might be someone I knew, but I really didn't. Their handle was, Dog the Bounty Hunter. So it was obviously not Dog the Bounty Hunter. In other words, but I kind of just ended the stream and didn't really, that day, I didn't feel like fucking with anybody. Give me a second. Like, I don't want to make the mistake of letting someone on and then they just start going off the handle on me. I mean, I cuss and stuff, but I don't need somebody coming on and doing, putting things in jeopardy, which I'm not talking about you. Okay, here. Well, like I have had people on, and I'm still just learning how to navigate when you bring someone on, and so just hit that link, and then when I see the thing, I can go in and turn you on. What I was trying to see is if there's a way for me to. Hold on. What are you barking at? What? What is it? Oh, shut up. Chewy, you be quiet, you mother damn. Okay. Do you see that? Anyway, what I was trying to see is if when I post this, am I able to take that comment back down once I've posted? Like once you've but I don't think I can. And it's really not that big a deal. Because realistically, if I let someone on I really don't know, like as far as I've never really seen them there before, but I still let them on because I wanted to do something where I thought about at some point having like every once in a while where I let people that may not have channels even, but they're my subscribers and they just get to come on for a minute. It might, like people might want to do that. But also if you're not sure about it, then, you might turn it on and all of a sudden they go from being cool the first few minutes to complete. But I have the option to just turn them back off and kick, like them not be there. But that causes a little bit of, that could cause where if the wrong things are said or shared, you have to make the entire live stream private, or you have to have the ability to be able to go in and maybe take that out. Like I'm not monetized or anything, so it don't really matter as far as that goes. I'm not worried about, they're gonna be. It's just I've been doing this for the past few years, and like, it's I just like to try to connect with people on a real level if I can. Okay, there we go. Let's see.
Hello?
Hey, brother.
Hey, I can, yeah, I'm out walking. So, no, I just wanted to pop in really quick. And you were talking about, I was talking about Watchmen and the idea that, yeah, the idea that, like, that, you know, how in Watchmen, there's like the whole Tales of the Black Freighter thing. And the idea that, like, comics in some meta way telling truths of the world to life, you know, and how,
Oh,
like, in, yeah, like in the book, like the kids reading that Tales of the Black Freighter, and it's like this weird metaphor or allegory for what was actually happening in their world, you know?
right. You're talking about like what in the book they're the person reading the. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, there was like the little
It's been a long time
the
since
book that was in the book about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a book. It was like, yeah, the comic that was being talked about in the book, you know, and the yeah. So I think the comics themselves are a. I think because also too you have people that are that have information, whether they got it through, you know, certain means. A lot of these guys are like from like mystery schools, secret societies and stuff, and they can't just actually come out and say anything. So they write about it. I think another really good one is Jack Kirby. The stuff Jack Kirby wrote and drew was insane.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, like I think that applies with a lot of our art in general, like whether it be visual art, storytelling. There's a lot of stuff that comes through, but especially like, you know what I'm saying? Like whether it be comics or just books or even movies, there's a lot of things sometimes that are coming through as true for that actual moment, but told in a different way. Like it's a fictional story, maybe set in a different time, but it's giving you clues about your actual world you're living in.
Exactly.
Or like the book I was showing you, and it's much like what's going on now, but it's taking it to the most extreme, like set in like, you know, like so many years from now, like in like our future.
Yeah.
It's almost like which you've heard for years, like a lot of science fiction turns out a lot of times to be science truth eventually. You know?
Yeah. Or something that you want to like, they want to ease people's consciousness into an idea or a conceptualization of something, you know? So you kind of lay out the breadcrumbs of the groundwork ahead of time. So, you know, because also too, the way we absorb information, so much of it is subconscious. So, and your subconscious just gets information, you know? So it's like, yeah, I think all that stuff, like especially like Jack Kirby with like his like Fourth World stuff, the New Gods, all that stuff. I mean, just, you know, you look at his art, you look at his characterization of particular like entities and stuff like that, and it's just like, this guy is like getting this from somewhere. Like it's not just a style, like something is coming to him, you know. And what's funny is if you take it back hundreds of years ago, a person being given visions, ideas, thoughts, whatever that they put down on paper, they called those people prophets in certain, you know, aspects, you know. So it's just like times change, but I think the overall system remains the same, if that makes any sense. I think people just, you know, they're getting information and they're putting it out there according to how they can do it, you know?
Exactly. Well, somebody that is like somebody in my life that I consider like my actual first, like I had many people that you could consider as maybe was a mentor, but the person that when I talk about it, as in my mind sticks out as who I say was my first physical mentor, so to speak, Dexter. I remember, because I had all these like I was 20 something years old already and stuff, and like, you know, I'd done a lot of different experimentation, like with psychedelic. I had my mind, like I was looking at things differently, right? but he taught me how, like you're saying, like a lot of the stories that we hear, there's some stuff that's true in them but the way that it has to be presented to the mass public, like he used George Lucas, for instance, he even used, he said like a lot of things that people seem to think are just fictional, mythical, or folklore things, like, for instance, vampires or werewolves or fairies and he was saying those things are not necessarily fiction. It's that they're trying to put something in such a context to the world that would think they're crazy if they presented it as, hey, this is what I know. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, I didn't mean to go to, like, in other words, he was saying, like, he taught me about how real the saying that truth is stranger than fiction is. Because I remember he put on,
it is.
You ever watch that movie by Clive Barker, The Lord of Illusions?
Yeah.
I remember he put that movie on. I'd never seen it. It was still on he had it on a VHS. He puts in the tape. He's like, watch that. And I'm like, and it starts off just like, you know, like the way it starts off. And I'm just like watching it. And by the end of the movie, I'm like, what the, you know, like, I know that there's some things in that might be not as real as, but there's a lot of truth to it also. Like that the world is an illusion, you know, like physical matter and everything. It's like the way that we think it is. I hope I'm not getting too deep.
Yeah. And I mean, no. I mean, I think that it works on multiple levels. Like, I think to go back to what you were talking about like George Lucas, like, so I think that the reason something like Star Wars has lasted for as long as it has is because on some unconscious level, people know that they're getting some part of a true story. There's something there that's resonating with them on a level that they can't even identify, maybe. And I think and I think a lot of stories, they do that. So it's like we get that. And it's like, I don't know, I'm feeling this, and it lasts for generations. And I think that at some point there was a weird, like, what's the word? A weird embargo on truth and the way truth was, because I really believe that there was a time where these things that we read about, you know, monsters and all these things that we thought, they used to walk with us. They used to walk on this planet. They used to exist. You know, the creatures.
I've shared this a few times that I believe someone was on with me a while back. There was this woman I know. She goes by Ghosty because she shared some images she had caught in a graveyard and stuff of some orbs, and then she also we talked on some supernatural things and all kinds of stuff. But I was saying, okay, I'm just speaking for myself, and I know, like, I can't prove it to nobody, but I feel like a lot of the things were like what you're mentioning, certain beings and stuff. I think that at some point, certain creatures or beings, they elevated to a level where they don't have to necessarily be here physically if they don't want to. That's why I think some of those creatures still are real, but they're able to be on that other level, the next dimension, whatever, you know. But if they want, and some have achieved where if they wanted to, they can be seen or not, or they can enter. You know, I know that if anybody, like, I'm not worried about people. Like, it's just, but that's what I was meaning. Like, when I was in the woods in 2008 and learning that I was not the man, I'm not the name on the paper that was given when I was born, that I'm Gray Cloud. It was a spiritual experience out in the middle of the woods for 3 months. I was living there. I was walking back and forth 4 miles each way to the camp I had and I was going to a job, but I was experiencing things in a way that if I hadn't been out in the woods for 3 months, like in the winter, like there on the lake, like I was, I saw things that I know what they were. Like, in other words, I believe in the fair folk, and I had experiences with fair folk. You know what I'm saying? I call them fair folk because not just fairies but like any like whatever, they played tricks with me and my friend there. So, and I'm not going to get into too much detail. I think that could be a whole nother.
No, you don't. Yeah, no, you like. I mean, you don't, and you don't have to, like. I gotta tell you, you're kind of like, you don't like. I get it. I get it. Like the stuff that I've seen, the stuff that I
Right.
experienced, and
Well,
like,
I'm just putting it out there.
I definitely get
Like,
it.
I don't mind people knowing that, but there's nothing I can like. No matter how much I tell any of the stuff, if somebody doesn't believe in any of that, they're gonna, and you can't think about it. Like I'm trying not to worry about that. But yeah, I had experiences like I already had known things were not the way they seem to be from early in life. Like I remember
Sure.
at 4 years old realizing something wasn't like at 4 and 5 years old asking adults questions that they didn't want asked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I was just
No, I
never
mean,
sad. Like, go ahead.
No, I just think that, like, I think at the end of the day, I think a lot of them they're transient, they're transdimensional. I think that part of it is conditions have to be right. Like as far as like certain ways that like in Lovecraft books, he always talks about like when the stars are right, they're able to move through and go places. But also too, you have some that just
that open
left.
at certain times.
Certain gateways that open certain times, but you have some beings that like just left. Like I think immediately to like the end of like Lord of the Rings. Like remember when the elves left Middle Earth? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
They were, that's a great analogy or metaphor for like the elves are literally migrating out of Middle Earth. They were going to a different place or a different reality. And so I think part of that is what's happened. I also think that the forces and the people, entities, whatever you want to say, in power, I think one of the things that gives them power is the homogenization of this world. Turning everything into, shopping malls and Betty Crocker. I'm just saying that as a reference, but you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that our reality but all of it. Yeah, I think our reality just used to be a lot weirder and a lot harder to put in a box and put on a shelf and sell it. But they need things to be that way, even though they don't even believe that. You know what I'm saying? They need things down here. I think it kind of creates like a cohesive reality for them, and a cohesive reality is easy to control. It's hard to control things when you got dragons and crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like that's harder to control, man. So I think that they found a way to keep us in a bubble, and they need to maintain that bubble for as long as they can, because when that bubble pops, they have no more power.
Oh yeah. And yeah, I don't know, man. Like sometimes I get like I try my best not to keep up with too much of everything going on, but no matter how much you try not to keep up with it, like even when I'm consciously not, you know what I mean? Like it's everywhere. Like, so if I get on any social media and I'm not looking for any of the news, I'm not caring about any of the politics or the wars or any of that, because it's still going to happen regardless of what I think or what I do. But when you're scrolling or you're trying to find something, you can't help but see headlines. You can't help but notice. And it's like, I try to stay in the moment as much as possible. Hence, Sage of the Eternal. A few years ago, the Spirit just kind of said, you're not gift-giving scribe no more. I'm going to give that to somebody else. Now, I don't know who gets the gift-giving scribe title. Some people might think I'm crazy, but what told me I was Gray Cloud also said you're a gift-giving scribe, and that's what I was for a while. A few years ago, it said, hey, I need you to focus on the day you're in and the moment you're in. And the more you learn that, things will, it's like, I don't know, man. It seems real simple, but like, I'm just trying to keep myself. Sometimes it's crazy because I'm consciously, but as soon as I'm seeing and aware that I'm out of the moment, like if I'm worrying about something or I'm thinking about the past, when I become aware of that, I have a certain, method of going, hey, Gray Cloud, pull yourself back in. Where are you supposed to be? You're supposed to be right here today.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like,
Because if I keep,
you know,
if I pay attention to too much of it, it brings me down,
well, it's supposed to. It's supposed to like
Right.
siphon your energy, take away from. That's why, like, so much of this is a show in the sense that they have to put on this show, and what people don't understand that is they need you to attend the show. If everybody just walked out, they couldn't do
Right.
anything. Like, what is? They're not gonna keep. They're not gonna keep. No. So you know what I'm saying? It's like a. I always use it as a reference, but it's like that Bill Hicks joke where he talks about how this is all a ride, and people need to understand that. But you have the people who are down here that have a lot invested in the ride, and they have a lot invested in this ride, and but you can't run an amusement park if there are no people,
Right.
because pretty soon the bottom line will eat you. It'll eat everything. So yeah, I try not. I do like you say. I try to pull myself out of it. Like when I feel like I'm being like polarized or something is because everything's political, everything is religion, everything is racial, everything is it is a perfect plan to divide people. They have to keep people divided. And I just
Hey, I want to say real quick, I really appreciate that you took a second to, I don't know, are you just out walking like you do and just kind of exploring or something? I get the sense sometimes when you're doing your videos, that's kind of what you're doing. You're just out kind of, because I know for walking for me is a way for me to collect my thoughts. It helps me, like whether I'm recording anything or not, like when I just go for a walk. Now I'm taking the same route a lot. So like I wish I lived somewhere where like there was more to, like I'm out in the middle of nowhere and I just kind of walk the same little country road. But you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's how I used to, like if I had stuff going on and I didn't know what to do about it, sometimes when I just take a freaking walk, dude, I'd take off walking and walk for miles, not even have a clue where I was going to head. But when I was done, by the time I was done, a lot of things were making more sense, or I was calm, or, it's almost like it's a cathartic thing for me to do that. I'm not saying,
it's
go ahead.
no, that's exactly what I do. It's even like, I mean, I can tell you stories one day about the namesake of Merlin, but like, that's like, I identify with that. Merlin, Moses, like those guys, they had a staff, they walked everywhere and they figured stuff out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's just like that.
Well,
yeah. So
that's why whenever, I don't know, I think we've been following each other a couple of years now because I don't know who followed who first, but I think you saw something of anyway, I do like your what the name and because I've always like one of my favorite books, even though I have found out that he might be kind of fraudulent. I heard he has a ghostwriter, Deepak Chopra, or Chopra, however you pronounce it. I've read a lot of his stuff, and some of it's interesting. But one of the books that he did put out that really resonates with me is called, The Way of the Wizard. 20 or 21 lessons of leading a spiritual life or whatever. And he made up. It's a good book, and I've had it many a times. Got a couple copies, but I have always likened to myself. Like to me, the word wizard is just another word for like shaman, wise
man.
person. Like wise man, sage, shaman, whatever. Like, but it's somebody that might know. They see reality a little differently. They approach things a little differently. They ask questions. They want to know the real truth, not just what ever fucking is told to them or presented.
And sometimes they're able to make that journey to other places, and they come back with truths that other people don't have.
Right.
And the difference between I don't know. I think that there was, I think one of the reasons why this world is so off balance is because it was always the task of the shaman, of the wizard, to sometimes make that journey into those realms that other people couldn't go into, to come back with that information to give the people or to be of service. The problem came in to play when certain entities got that information and decided, oh, nobody needs to have that. And we're going to form our societies, we're going to form our, and we're going to keep that from the world because that gives us a leg up. And to me, that's when things started getting really, really bad. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, and there's no telling
I-
when that starts. That's
when
been
that
going
started,
on probably
for a
no
while.
telling how long.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, man.
I think you should be of service to the best of your ability, you know? And I don't subscribe to that using secrets to manipulate people from behind the scenes. Like, I don't, that just never resonated with me. And it's probably why I'm not liked by, yeah. But, you know, it's just like, but no, that's what the wizard, that's why I've always resonated with, you know, how Tolkien kind of explained it in Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings. Cause, you know, there was like 5 wizards and essentially they were like lesser angels to an extent. But when they were sent to Middle Earth, they had to like take these like, you know, bodies. They
Yeah.
look like, you know, older men, you know, and for the most part, they rarely displayed their actual power. Like you look at like the entirety of like Gandalf like most people just knew Gandalf. What did they call him? The Grey Pilgrim. He walked everywhere. He knew things and he walked everywhere. And it wasn't until you get a little further in the story that like, oh no, he can actually do, but like they didn't want to interfere. They didn't want to manipulate. Then you have Sauron, who, I mean, what happened to him? You know what I'm saying? But so it's a very interesting cautionary, but also I think that's a very good look into the idea of the wizard, you know?
Oh yeah.
So
I was something threw me off for a second. Somebody texted me something. They think they pissed me off, and I heard what you're saying. I'm not listening to you. It's just
no, you're fine.
yeah.
You're
I just
fine.
gotta, you know, like I don't want them to because I wasn't there. Like they didn't do anything that made me. But you know, like when you don't know people real well, sometimes like if you're first, like it's still someone that I've only known a little while. So sometimes you just think, like when you don't know someone a lot, sometimes you might be you know, like realize that you might have said something that might have, like, I don't know. I was having a bad time the other night, or I was kind of in a bad mood the other night, and somebody was just trying to see what was wrong, and I just was like, I don't want to talk. And so I think anyway, I didn't mean to go into that. It just made me think.
No, man.
Like when we're done and everything, I just want to let them. I'm going to let them know. Like I can't address that right now. It's just something that, like in my notifications, it came down, and I was like, oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
I don't want them to think that I'm mad about anything.
Well, I gotta run, but I really appreciate you letting me come on and run my mouth for
I'm
a little
sorry
bit. I'd
if I
love to
cut-
do it again. No,
I didn't
you're
cut
fine,
you.
dude.
Okay, like I'm sorry that I just shifted all of a sudden. I don't know if that was
No.
me seeing that might be a sign that, because I was thinking that I might be wrapping this up here in a second, and I didn't know how long.
Yeah.
What I was going to say before
No, I
you
think-
do get off is I'll try to drop try to go on your videos or something, and I'll just put like my email or something that
Sure.
so that you can send me an email, and then we can I can get back with you, and we'll try to connect. Where if you want to come on, or if we want to do this again, and we talk ahead of time, we can kind of have a connection. That way, we can be like, hey, do you want to do this, and maybe even know what you know what I mean.
You know, it's actually this is kind of kismet in the sense that like I've wanted to kind of do this for a while, and you know I was actually gonna like reach out to my subscribers like, does anybody want to like jump on and talk, and you know, so But yeah, we'll definitely.
Well, I knew when you showed up in the chat, I was like, whoa. And then I got to thinking, especially like we obviously have similar interests in a lot of
Sure.
things, not just the spiritual realm and the supernatural, but also like you came in and you know a little bit about comics also and stuff. And I was like,
Mhm.
hey, dude, like
No, I can
figured it
run.
would work well.
We
We bounced off each other pretty well. Like it wasn't just like
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. I can talk all day about comics, so it's not a problem. But anyway, I appreciate you, man, and I'll be talking
Yeah.
to you soon. All right.
Yeah, I'll try to remember to do that sometime today. Like just you'll see it when it comes up that someone commented or whatever wants you.
Okay.
You know, I'll try to comment here soon and then just leave an email and then you just shoot whenever you got the time and then we'll figure it out. Okay.
All right, man. See you soon.
Hey, have a good day, man. Okay, guys. Hold on a minute. I'll be right back. Okay. Now, if it went down for a minute, I'm sorry. I was trying to address my friend there to let them know. But we are at a good time. It's like I'm a little over an hour and a half, and I believe I enjoyed it. It started off pretty good. I think I covered what I wanted to cover. We talked about comics and stuff, and then Merlin showed up in the chat, and I went ahead and shared the link, and he came on, and I really appreciate that. I wanted to say, I'll try to remember after this stream. What I'll do is I'm going to change when this stream is completed, and I can go in and edit it because I'm on my mobile data. It takes a minute to process. When I can go in and put in that he joined, like I'm going to put in the title that he would. Like I'm going to change the title a little bit so people will know that someone did come on. Like, yeah, I know it's like a little ways through before he did. And then in the description, and then I'll try to remember to put a link, because I can change the description and put a link to his channel. So if anybody is watching the stream after the fact, it will, they'll know how to go find him. But you can find him just by Merlin the Sphere Keeper if you want to. He talks about some interesting things and different, just reality, stuff. And cool. Like I'm glad that he likes comics too. So, I could still stay on, but I'm trying to think. Well, it ain't like I have to make anything to eat because I cooked some stuff last night and I got 2 hamburger patties still left in the fridge. So I'm not going to have to cook anything right yet today. I might this afternoon, but my brain's trying to process exactly, is there anything else that Gray Cloud needs to share, wants to share? Does he need, I've already, like I said, I already cleaned up after the puppies a little while ago. I left them outside for a good while. Had put them back in just prior to doing the stream. It's not raining or anything yet. I think we are going to get some rain, but I may just, like if I end this, I might end up, if they're awake, I might go ahead and put them back outside for a little while. Because the more I do that, it'll just keep the spot in there less messy. Like, it just, the more they're in there in the spot, no matter if I'm cleaning it, the longer the time. I'm trying to, I want to move forward to where at some point, most of the day, I'm leaving them outside. Of course, once they start getting, but I'm hoping in the next few weeks, because they're about 4 weeks now. So within 2 weeks, they could definitely be given to somebody if. But right now, I'm trying to think about this coming week of trying to be more conscious of trying to get a few people to help me tell or spread the word and see if I can find anybody that wants a puppy where they can either come look at them, or if they tell me, yeah, let's let me know in a few weeks or whatever. I took some pictures today. I'm gonna try to take some more and see if my friend can help me put them on the Facebook Marketplace as free stuff. And then I'm part of something else that's I get an email for that. It's like an email for this surrounding area. It's a certain radius of miles, but so it's not just here in the couple of towns I'm in between, but like the surrounding area, anybody can post up to a certain area, but it's all like from a certain part of Alabama. I'm going to put some pictures in there because the group I'm part of is this Henniger, which is what my address is. So anybody that is a member of it, that is living around here, if they would be able to see the pictures and help me out, maybe. And then I even might have to, I've never done it yet, but I might try to see once they're a little bit older, have somebody take me somewhere where I can have them sitting, but put a sign up free. But I'm thinking about asking this store out front of the trailer park up there. They've got a big parking lot and a part of the building that's nothing there in there. I know the people. I'm thinking about seeing if when I get ready, if they'll let me sit at not anywhere close to where people go in the store, but way up. Sit there, maybe like on a bucket or in a chair, and have the puppies like in a. Don't have them in a box or something because they're still small, but have them there and have the sign and just sit there for a while and see if anybody might. Now, of course, that'll all be up to them. And then there is a couple of places I can maybe, but I have to get a ride. I've never done that, so. But I got to get. I definitely am trying my best not to do what happened last time, which was things got out of hand. I was dealing with a lot of stuff, and that's no excuse, but I didn't have anybody to really take them off my hands, and I didn't know. I was going through some shit, and we ended up taking them to the local place. But it's not I know that they might not have survived because we don't live anywhere near a place that is I think the nearest no-kill so-called place is a few hours away or something. And anytime that's ever been brought up, anytime usually they all I know that last year I found out, especially since the pandemic, everywhere across the states and stuff is dealing with a lot of strays and stuff. So the pounds, even the no-kills, everything's filled up all the time now. It's like trying to find a no-kill and trying to adopt them out. Can take some time because there's so many animals, but I mean, I can manage it until I find the homes and stuff. Exactly how shut up and stop talking and get out of here. Okay, I'll talk to y'all later. Over and out. And ditto is my way of saying I love you. And I don't know. I think this stream went pretty well. I'm not going to think too hard about it. And like I said, I will be reconfiguring it so I can share the link to his channel and all that kind of stuff. So y'all have a good day.